The coughing started again, soft at first, then sharper, more desperate, echoing down the marble hallway like a wounded bird begging for help. Nora stopped in the doorway, one hand still on the light switch of the little girl's bedroom, her heartbeat tightening with worry. There it is again. 8-year-old Lily Hart lay curled on her side, blanket pulled to her chin, tiny shoulders shivering even though the room was warm. Her skin was pale. Her breaths were thin. Her eyes, usually bright as spring water, looked dull and frightened. Nora walked in quietly. "Sweetheart," she whispered, kneeling beside her. "It's okay. I'm here." Lily turned her head slowly. "Nora, my chest hurts again." Her voice cracked like glass. Nora felt her stomach drop. "Third time tonight. 6th time this week." And nobody seemed to know why. The mansion had everything a child could need. Air purifiers, the best doctors, organic meals, filtered water. Yet Lily kept getting sicker. Every day, worse and worse. Nora brushed Lily's forehead gently. It was burning. "I'll get your inhaler." "No," Lily whimpered, grabbing her sleeve. "Don't go. Please stay." Nora's heart squeezed. This child had been through too much. And Nora, freshly hired, but already fiercely protective, couldn't ignore the feeling gnawing in her chest. Something wasn't right. She had only worked here 2 weeks, but the signs were everywhere. Lily's room always smelled faintly sour, like old humidity. The sickness hit only at night. The symptoms worsened whenever she was in this room. The cleaning staff avoided this hallway. And Lily never slept well, not even once. Nora sat beside her and smoothed her hair back. "Did something scare you tonight?" she asked softly. Lily hesitated. Her fingers twisted the blanket nervously. I heard something." Nora's brows knitted. "What did you hear?" Lily's eyes darted toward the floor. "Under my bed." Her voice dropped to a whisper. It was scratching. A cold flicker ran up Nora's spine. Scratching? Before she could ask more, footsteps echoed down the hall. Heavy, impatient, angry. The door swung open. Lily's father, Evan Hart, stepped inside with a folded newspaper still in hand. A billionaire with a jaw carved from tension, always talking, always moving, never listening. "How's she now?" he asked roughly. "Her fever is up again," Nora replied gently. "And she says she hears hallucinations," he cut in. "It's the anxiety. Doctors said that last week." "But Evan," he waved a dismissive hand. "Just give her the medication. She'll sleep eventually." Nora bit her lip. "Sir, this is the 3rd night she's had these attacks. I just think maybe." He stiffened. "You're the nanny, not the doctor. Do as you're told." Lily flinched at his tone. Nora placed a calming hand on the girl's back and shot Evan a quiet glare, one she knew better than to voice. "The moment he left," Lily whispered. "He never listens." Nora kissed the top of her head. "I'm listening, sweetheart. Tell me the truth. What do you hear?" Lily pulled her blanket up to her nose. "It starts with scratching," she whispered. "Then, like someone breathing. Like they're hiding down there." Nora's skin prickled. She checked the corners of the room. Nothing. Just toys, a dresser, a night lamp shaped like a moon. But the air felt strange. Heavy. Too heavy for a child's room. Nora looked back at Lily. "Has this happened before?" Lily nodded. "For months." "Months?" Nora's breath hitched. "And you told your dad?" "He said it's nightmares." Nora's jaw tightened. Not everything a child fears is imaginary. She glanced again at the bed. White frame. Pink comforter. Stuffed animals lined neatly along the pillow. But the space beneath it. It looked too dark. Almost unnaturally dark. Nora's instincts whispered. Something is wrong. Lily tugged Nora's sleeve again. "Don't look under there now," she whispered. "It's awake." Nora's heart slammed once, hard. "Sweetie," she whispered gently, "what do you mean it's awake?" Lily's lips trembled. "It only sleeps during the day." Nora felt a chill crawl up her neck. "All right," she said softly. "Tell me what it looks like." Lily shook her head violently. "I've never seen it." Nora exhaled. "Then how do you know it's real?" Lily swallowed. "Because sometimes." She pulled the blanket closer. "It whispers my name." The room fell silent. Completely silent. Nora felt her pulse roar in her ears, but she kept her expression calm for the child's sake. She forced a warm smile. "It's okay. Nobody is going to hurt you. Not while I'm here." Lily finally relaxed enough to close her eyes. Nora waited until her breathing softened, until the tension drained from her tiny shoulders. Then she whispered, "I'm going to find out what's under there." She stood quietly and reached for the lamp. The room dimmed, shadows stretching along the carpet. She dropped to her knees, hair falling forward as she leaned toward the darkness beneath the bed. Her heart hammered. The air grew colder. Quiet. Still. Nora slowly lifted the bed skirt, and her breath froze in her throat, because what she saw under the bed was nothing she ever expected, and it changed everything. Nora froze. For a full second, she didn't breathe. Couldn't breathe, because the darkness under Lily's bed was not empty, not even close. Something glinted. Not eyes. Not an animal. Something shiny. Metallic. She leaned closer, slowly, letting her eyes adjust. A small object sat pushed against the back wall beneath the bed, covered in dust, half hidden under an old sheet. A device. Square. Black. With tiny vents and wires. Her stomach twisted. That's not a child's toy. Nora reached out carefully, fingers brushing the cold metal, and the device emitted a faint click. A stream of air hissed out of one of the vents. Not warm. Cold. Chemical cold. Nora jerked her hand back. Her pulse spiked. She grabbed the device and pulled it into the light. It was about the size of a shoebox, matte black, with no brand name. The front had two small nozzles, a switch, and a tiny blinking green light. A very faint smell leaked from it. Sour. Harsh. Chemical. Nora's blood ran cold. She had smelled that before. In hospitals. In cleaning supply rooms. Industrial disinfectant. Over long exposure, it could cause exactly what Lily had been suffering from. Chronic cough. Throat irritation. Headaches. Nausea. Fever. Exhaustion. Nora's heart pounded against her ribs. Someone had placed a chemical dispensing device under an 8-year-old's bed. Her hands trembled as she turned the unit over. A tape label stuck to the bottom. Nora squinted at the marker scrawl. Unit 3, Lily's room, night cycle only. Her stomach flipped. Night cycle? She whispered. She looked back under the bed. There were faint scratches on the wood floor. Not from animals. Not from movement. From someone sliding this device in and out. Recently. Very recently. Nora's hands clenched with horror. This wasn't a malfunction. This wasn't an accident. This was intentional. Footsteps echoed behind her. Her heart jumped, and she quickly pushed the device behind her just as Mrs. Reeves, the head housekeeper, walked in. Short hair. Lipstick too bright. Eyes sharp and cold. She crossed her arms. "What are you doing on the floor?" she snapped. Nora forced a calm expression. Lily was hearing noises. "I'm just checking." Mrs. Reeves' eyes narrowed at the lamp on the floor, the lifted bed skirt, the tension in Nora's shoulders. Her voice sharpened. "Oh, please," she scoffed. "The girl is dramatic. There is nothing wrong with her room." Nora tilted her head slightly. "You sure?" Mrs. Reeves stiffened for a fraction of a second. So quick anyone else would have missed it. But Nora didn't. Nora stood, keeping the device hidden behind her leg. "I think she's getting sicker." Mrs. Reeves shrugged. "Children get sick. Not like this." "Are you questioning the medical team?" The housekeeper snapped. Nora held her gaze. "I'm questioning why an 8-year-old keeps getting sick only at night. Only in her bedroom." Mrs. Reeves bristled. "You're overstepping. And you're too comfortable," Nora whispered. Mrs. Reeves stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Watch your tone. You're new here. People who pry don't last." Nora's stomach twisted. There was something wrong with this woman. Something cold. Something practiced. Then Mrs. Reeves leaned even closer, her mouth near Nora's ear. "Mr. Hart doesn't need another nanny quitting after a week. Keep your nose where it belongs." Nora didn't blink. "Maybe your nose doesn't belong here." Mrs. Reeves stepped back, eyes shining with venom. But she forced a stiff smile. "Dinner is in 20 minutes, she said sharply. "Get the child ready." Then she turned and walked out. Her heels clicked fast, too fast, almost frantic. The moment she was gone, Nora exhaled shakily. She knelt again and looked at the device in her lap. Night cycle only. Chemical release. Placed directly under Lily's bed. Someone was poisoning this child. On purpose. Nora's breath trembled. She stood, grabbed her phone, and took pictures. Every angle, every label, every wire. Then she tucked the device into her tote bag, tucked Lily in again, and whispered, "I'm going to fix this." But she wasn't prepared for what came next. Because as she walked toward the bedroom door, planning to confront Mr. Hart, a soft scratching came from behind her. Under the bed. Her entire body froze. Slow. Careful. She lifted the bed skirt one more time. Her breath turned to ice. Because the device she just removed was not the only thing under Lily's bed. There was something else. And when her eyes adjusted, Nora realized with horror. It wasn't an object. It was a person, curled into the far corner. Face pale, eyes wide and furious. Hiding, watching. And the moment Nora saw her, the woman under the bed whispered, "Put it back." Nora stumbled backward, hand flying to her chest. It was the housekeeper, Mrs. Reeves, hiding under the child's bed. Nora's voice shook. You were under there the whole time?" The woman crawled out slowly, her smile twisted. "I said," she whispered, "put it back." Nora's blood went cold, because now she knew. Lily wasn't being hurt by ghosts or nightmares. She was being poisoned by someone inside the house. Someone trusted. Someone dangerous. Someone who had just crawled out from under the bed and was now blocking the only exit. Nora's back hit the wall. Mrs. Reeves stood between her and the door. Hair mussed from crawling. Uniform dusty. Eyes wild and unhinged. Every instinct in Nora's body screamed one thing. Protect Lily. At any cost. Mrs. Reeves dusted her knees, smiling like someone steadying themselves before a performance. "You weren't supposed to see that," she whispered. Nora swallowed, voice shaking. "You've been under her bed. Watching her." Mrs. Reeves clicked her tongue. "Monitoring her." "For what?" Nora demanded. "She's a child." Mrs. Reeves' face twisted. "A child who doesn't belong here," she hissed. "A child who ruined everything." Nora's chest tightened. "What are you talking about?" Mrs. Reeves took a slow step forward, hands clasped in front of her like a woman praying twisted prayers. "I served this household for 18 years. 18. Before that little brat was even born." Nora didn't move. Mrs. Reeves continued, voice cracking with jealousy. "Mr. Hart trusted me. He listened to me. I raised him. I raised this house. I cooked for him, cleaned for him, took care of him when no one else cared." Her eyes flickered toward Lily, still asleep, breathing shallowly. And then she came. Nora's stomach dropped. You're jealous of an 8-year-old?" Mrs. Reeves stepped closer. "She took him from me." Nora's breath hitched. "This isn't love," she whispered. "This is obsession." Mrs. Reeves' voice rose, low, trembling, furious. "You don't understand. You're new. He used to ask for my advice, my meals, my opinions. Then suddenly he had her." Her voice snapped like ice. "The sick little doll that ruined my place here." Nora felt her heart crack. "She's his daughter. She's a problem," Mrs. Reeves corrected. Nora swallowed anger and terror at the same time. "You poisoned her." Mrs. Reeves didn't deny it, didn't hesitate, didn't blink. "Only enough to keep her weak," she said calmly. "So she couldn't run around. So she needed to stay home. So she needed care." Nora felt sick. "You wanted Mr. Hart to fire more nannies." Mrs. Reeves smiled. "He always brought me in to handle things afterward." She lifted her chin proudly. "I kept this house running for years. And I will not be replaced by some fragile little girl who has everything handed to her." Nora's jaw clenched. "You hurt Lily because you wanted attention from her father." Mrs. Reeves' smile sharpened. "He needed me. I made myself necessary." Nora gripped the bed frame behind her. "And now?" Mrs. Reeves' eyes darkened. "You're leaving. And the device goes back." Nora took a deep, deliberate breath. "No." Mrs. Reeves blinked. "No. You're done hurting her." Mrs. Reeves took a step closer, voice dropping. "I will scream. I will tell him you hurt the child. He'll fire you like the others." Nora cut her off, fury trembling in her voice. "I have photos." Mrs. Reeves froze. "You what?" "Photos of the device," Nora said, steady now. "Photos of the labels. Where you hid it. And in my bag, a video of you climbing out from under Lily's bed." Mrs. Reeves' eyes widened, true fear flickering for the first time. You're going to move away from the door," Nora said firmly. "And I'm calling Mr. Hart." Mrs. Reeves shook with rage. "You think he'll believe you over me?" "Yes," Nora said calmly. "Because I found the truth he's been too busy to see." Lily stirred in her sleep, coughing weakly. Both women froze. Nora dropped to her knees beside the child. Mrs. Reeves watched, chest heaving, unsure. Nora whispered, "You're safe, Lily. I promise." A voice thundered from the doorway. "What's going on in here?" Both women snapped their heads around. Evan Hart stood in the doorway, eyes sharp, tie loose, breath uneven like he'd been running. He saw Nora kneeling beside Lily. He saw Mrs. Reeves blocking the exit. He saw panic in both their eyes. What the hell happened? He demanded. Mrs. Reeves immediately straightened, voice syrup sweet. Sir, I caught the nanny trying to. Nora threw the device at his feet. The clatter echoed through the room. Evan Hart's face drained. What is that? Nora stood. Your daughter is being poisoned, she said softly. For months. He stared at the device. Then at Nora. Then at Mrs. Reeves. Explain, he barked. Mrs. Reeves opened her mouth. But Nora spoke first. This unit, she said, releases chemical disinfectant at night. Under her bed. Evan's hands shook as he picked up the device. He flicked the switch. The green light blinked. He smelled the chemicals. And he understood. Oh my God, he whispered. Nora continued gently. Lily wasn't anxious. She wasn't imagining things. She wasn't weak. She looked directly at the man who loved his daughter more than anything. She was being poisoned, Mr. Hart. His face broke. Shock. Guilt. Pain. Mrs. Reeves panicked. She lies. I would never. Nora pulled out her phone. Pressed play. A video showed Mrs. Reeves crawling out from under the bed. Evan's face turned dark, darker than Nora had ever seen. His voice came out low, shaking with rage. You? Mrs. Reeves backed away. No. Sir, I can explain. Evan Hart roared. Security. 2 guards stormed in. Mrs. Reeves screamed. No. She's lying. I did everything for you. Evan pointed at her with trembling fists. Get her out. The guards grabbed her arms. You ruined everything. Mrs. Reeves shrieked. She took your attention. She took my place. Take her to the police. Evan ordered, voice breaking. She tried to kill my daughter. Mrs. Reeves' screams echoed down the hallway as she disappeared. Silence collapsed over the room. Evan sank onto the bed beside Lily. Then he broke. He cried into his hands like a father who just realized how close he came to losing the only person that mattered. Nora put a gentle hand on his shoulder. He grabbed her hand tightly. Nora. His voice trembled. You saved her life. Nora swallowed hard. She saved herself, she whispered. She trusted me. That's what led me here. Lily stirred. Her eyes fluttered open. Daddy? Evan choked on a breath. I'm here, sweetheart. I'm right here. She looked at Nora. You stayed with me. Nora smiled softly. I always will. 2 days later, Lily's color returned. Her cough faded. Her fevers vanished. And when Lily ran across the garden laughing again, Evan Hart turned to Nora with tears in his eyes. You're not just her nanny anymore, he whispered. You're family. Nora knelt beside Lily, brushing her hair back as she giggled. Lily smiled up at her with pure love. Are you staying forever? She asked. Nora's heart warmed. Yes, sweetheart, she whispered. I'm staying forever. Because some bonds aren't made by blood. They're made by bravery, by trust, by love, by choosing to fight for a child who had no one else fighting for her. If this story touched your heart, share it. Because kindness doesn't always wear a smile, and heroes don't always wear uniforms. Sometimes, they walk in covered in dust, carrying stories that could change your heart forever.